Hey guys, welcome to my coffee talk. So today I have for you nutrition advice, exercise advice, Q&A and giveaway. But you know what? Let's take it one step at a time. I should be probably drinking coffee for my coffee talk, but I already had coffee in the morning, so now I'm having my Relax and Digest tea from my own tea line. It's really good, you guys. It's really good tea. I realized I did not announce the winner of the blue balls and the bleach bright. So I already picked the winner. It's Chiara L from Italy. So the products are already on the way to you. Congratulations, and I hope you're gonna enjoy them. Now this week's giveaway is sponsored by Pink Ivy, who sent me a pair of really cute sneakers. Check this out. Aren't they cute? I think they're super cute. It's Nike sneakers, and they bedazzled them with real Swarovski crystals. There's a catch though. I have only one size, and it's 7.5 US, which is between 30.5 to 39 EU size. So guys, it's only one size that I have, but if you happen to have this size and you want to get the chance to win, then follow me on Instagram. My handle is @Zuzka Light, and the guidelines are on Instagram. It's super easy, and you can get the chance to win. Now let's do some Q&A. You guys have left me so many comments on the latest coffee talk, and it's amazing. I love it. Thank you so much. I've been going through your comments, and I'm gonna reply to some of your questions. The first question that I want to reply to is from Cassandra E. It's a long comment, so I'm not gonna read the whole comment. I'm just gonna give you the gist of it. So basically, Cassandra says that the only women she's ever seen to be in such a good shape as myself are women who lift weights, heavy weights, for at least an hour a day on a regular basis. She doesn't believe me that I do 15-20 minute workouts a day. She thinks I must be doing 2 of them every single day. She thinks I'm probably riding my bike for 45 minutes a day and do another 45 minutes of stretch and tone workouts. And the last sentence, which is really important, so I'm gonna read it to you, is this. If it was just the 15 minutes, then you would think that every mom in the world would be in an incredible shape from just playing with their children for 15 minutes a day, you know, chasing them around and picking them up. Now, because of the last sentence, I know for a fact that you are not doing my workouts, and you have probably never tried them before, because if you did, you would realize that my workouts is nothing like chasing kids and picking them up. Also, I'm going to tell you guys that camera does add about 5 pounds, and I do look smaller in person. A lot of people tell me that, and I have been next to girls that do lift heavy weights on a regular basis. I have nothing on them, trust me. On any fit expo, I'm one of the smaller girls. So it's really just that you see me on videos, you never see me next to anybody else. I'm really lean, so it looks like I'm just one big muscle, but I'm really nowhere near to what I should be if I was lifting heavy weights. Now you have to realize that there is many ways how one can get into shape and many forms of training. Some people like to lift weights and spend an hour a day in the gym. I don't have the time for it, and I don't even enjoy that type of training. My training is based around short, intense workouts, high intensity intervals, circuit training, Tabata training, workouts like that are short in duration and high in intensity, which means that you really break a sweat, you really work the muscles. And keep in mind that high intensity interval training has been proven to work, build muscles, burn fat, burn tons of calories, keeping people in incredible shape. It's been proven like a million times already, over and over again, and I'm not the only one who's keeping herself in shape this way. So I don't do my 2 high intensity workouts a day. I don't do that. It would be too exhausting for me, because if you really put all of your efforts into that workout, and I don't just slack it, you know, I really put a lot of effort into every one of my workouts. I cannot imagine doing that twice a day. It would be too much. It's too much, and it's unnecessary. But if you do have the time and you want to spend more time stretching or doing postural therapy, then go for it, and that's definitely good for you. I try to do my postural therapy at least every other day, because it's very important. It's a prevention from injury, and stretching is really important for me, so I do stretch after each workout. Sometimes I stretch at the evenings, and if I do have extra time on the weekends, I'm in my backyard and I spend extra time stretching and working on my handstands like I did last week. But keep in mind that I have been working on my handstands for over a year, and this is where I am right now. And my goal was to practice handstands every single day. It didn't happen because I didn't have time for it. But if you do have time and you're willing to put the time and effort into it, you could probably cut the time in half and get where I am right now in probably 6 months. But you have to spend the time doing it. When it comes to stretching, if you stretch every day after your workout, you spend a little bit longer time stretching after your workout, you can totally get incredibly flexible. But you just have to be really consistent with it. If you remember my workouts from Malta, so that was bodyweight training, and I got into awesome shape just doing that, so it's very possible. And you know what? I'm gonna prove it to you right now. Get down on the ground, let's do 10 push-ups right now. If you think that bodyweight workouts are not effective, 10 reps right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Cool. Now, jump tucks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now burpees. I think you get my point right now. Try to do this for 15 minutes straight. I don't take any breaks between my exercises. That's what makes these workouts super intense. You do high intensity training. Bodyweight exercises provide incredible resistance. You will be tensing muscles like crazy, which means that you will have the residual tension. The muscle tone that you see, that's the residual tension, which means your muscles are gonna be partially contracted and make you look really lean and really fit. The only thing that I do besides my workouts are extra bonuses. So if you do your 15-minute training and you're still warmed up, what I want you to do on top, if you're a ZG member, is usually a bonus exercise. So this month, and if you're a ZG member, you already know that last week I started the 3000 kettlebell swing challenge, and this is what it means. So basically you're doing 100 kettlebell swings every single day for 30 days. And it's really not that much when you think about it, because 100 kettlebell swings can be done in less than 5 minutes. And you can do 10 reps at a time, 20 reps at a time. It depends on your own fitness level and the weight of your kettlebell. I'm using my 44-pound kettlebell for this challenge. So it's the heaviest weight that I use in my training actually. And I use it only for lower body exercises, such as the kettlebell swing, deadlift and squats. So even if you're not a ZG member and you're not doing my daily training, you still can benefit a lot from this little bonus. So here's the proper form on how to perform the kettlebell swing. You want to have your feet wider apart, wider than hip width apart, because you're gonna be swinging the kettlebell between your legs. You have to make sure that your feet are flat on the ground. For this purpose, I suggested you do it barefooted, because you can really feel if your feet are flat on the ground. You should not have your feet going off of the ground from the inside or the outside, because you're gonna be either buckling your knees in or bringing the knees apart. You don't wanna do that. That's why the feet have to be flat on the ground. Your knees are always following your toes. Then you're gonna push your hips back, and you want to maintain that arch in your lower back, and you also want to be squeezing your shoulder blades together kind of. So you want to think about keeping your chest up and really pushing your shoulders back. And when you reach for the kettlebell, it should be far away from you enough for you to extend your arms completely. Then when you swing the kettlebell behind you between your legs, you're gonna propel the kettlebell forward. Use the power of your hips. You're not pulling the kettlebell forward with your arms. You're using the hips to swing the kettlebell forward. Then you're gonna squeeze your glutes, and at the top of the movement, the kettlebell should be at the level of your shoulders. Your arms should be parallel to the ground. Also, don't forget the proper breathing. You have to breathe forcefully. Every time you swing the kettlebell forward, you should do this. So, here it goes. You're gonna really feel it. Every time you do the kettlebell swing, you really contract your glutes. So, this is what I do when I really wanna shape up my butt. And if you want to take it to the next level and really shape up the entire legs and your butt, then you want to add another exercise to your bonus, and it's not gonna take up a lot of your time at all. So this exercise that I'm gonna show you really helped me to shape up my legs, especially my calves. So you want to use chair for support, and you want to use the heavy kettlebell again. Well, it's not that heavy. For somebody who's lifting heavy weights, this is probably nothing. For us in the Z gym, this is the heavy weight, that's the 44 pounds. So you want your feet really wide apart, toes pointing outwards, your knees are again following your toes, and you're gonna reach for the kettlebell with one hand up, then lift the heels off of the ground, get up on your toes, and then do a squat. So you're doing this plie squat with a heavy kettlebell. Also, I wanted to tell you guys one really important fact. Getting into shape is always really hard. Improving, making progress is always really hard. For me, right now, to make any further progress, it would be hard. I would have to adjust my diet. I would have to push myself harder in my training, you know. Maybe I would have to increase the volume of my training, depending on the goals, obviously. But if you're out of shape and you want to get into shape, it's gonna be hard. It's not gonna be easy at the beginning. All you have to do is just put your head down and just work really hard. But once you get into shape, once you get into that shape that you like, it's gonna be so easy to maintain, and it's gonna be easy for two reasons. First reason is that by the time you get into shape, you're gonna develop habits that get you into shape in the first place. You're gonna develop your training habits, your eating habits. So to sustain that is gonna be much easier for you. Second reason is that your body's always fighting really hard to maintain the shape that you're currently in. So if you're out of shape right now, your body is not making it worse and worse. Your body's trying to maintain that shape that you're in. It's just really hard to get better and to make a progress. But like I said, if you work really hard right now, in few months you're gonna be in a really good shape, and then your life is gonna be so much easier, and it's gonna be so much easier to maintain that. But remember that your diet is gonna play a very important role in your training, in your fitness level, in the way you look, the way you feel. You know, that's very important. So if you do wanna see some muscle tone, if you do wanna lose fat, your diet is gonna be very, very important, just as important as your training, if not even more. Now, I believe that the basics of each healthy diet starts with cutting down on sugar 100%. That's really important. And including more veggies into your diet. I am including my veggies as part of my holistic transformation, and this is my new snack, everyday snack: shaved carrots and just kale. You know, that's my new snack. And I know this doesn't sound exciting for you. It doesn't, I know. But believe me, once you try it, you'd be like, meh, it's actually not that bad. I guess I could do it. Especially if you have a motivation to get healthy and get fit, then you try it a few times, and you know, before you know it, it's gonna become a habit, and you're gonna have a new snack, and you will see that you're gonna crowd out the junk food snacks, and you will replace it with some healthy veggies, and that's really important. Why don't you start with that? Give it a try. It's really not that bad. Actually, after a few times, you're gonna start enjoying these snacks, I promise you. Now let's do another question. A few of you guys have been asking me about artificial sweeteners and swerve, because I use swerve a lot in my bakings and my recipes. So I'm gonna tell you a lot about swerve today. Now, why do I use the swerve? Like I said, I think that the basics of every diet is to ditch sugar. However, if you do that, you realize that you cannot enjoy a lot of the desserts that you like so much. So you have to substitute the sugar with something so that you can still enjoy the sweets and the desserts that you like. I like the swerve because it's made out of erythritol, which is a natural sweetener, and it's a form of sugar alcohol. Sugar alcohol can be found in natural foods, for example in fruits. It has 70% of the sweetness of sugar, so it's a little bit less, but when I do my recipes, I always substitute with the same amount of swerve as I would use sugar and it always turns out really good. Erythritol is also very low in calories. 1 gram of sugar is 4 calories. 1 gram of erythritol is 0.24 calories. It's really like nothing. Now, some sugar alcohols like xylitol can cause digestive issues. I cannot have xylitol because it does give me stomach aches. But the erythritol is different because it doesn't get absorbed by your body. It actually gets into the bloodstream really fast, and then it goes out of your body through the urine unchanged. So it doesn't have any harmful metabolic effect on your body. It doesn't feed the bacteria in your mouth, so it doesn't cause any cavities, and it is considered a safe natural sweetener that doesn't raise your blood sugar levels, does not disturb the bacteria in your gut. Now, when you're looking for erythritol sweeteners, you have to be kind of careful and make sure that the source of the erythritol is from non-GMO product. So for example, Truvia is one of the most popular sweeteners in the United States. It's mostly erythritol. It's a bunch of stuff mixed together. It's erythritol, a little bit of stevia, but the part of stevia that has zero health benefits, and some chemicals. And the erythritol in Truvia is from GMO corn. So you don't really want to put that into your body. I like the Swerve in particular because they use non-GMO erythritol. Now, when it comes to other sweeteners like artificial sweeteners and Splenda, things like that, sucralose, it's all the same thing. It's just questionable for me, so I try to avoid that as much as possible. I also avoid agave nectar. Even though it's marketed as a health food, it's actually not a health food at all. Agave nectar is no different than high fructose corn syrup. It's because it's highly processed and refined, and it has zero health benefits. It's just bunch of sugar again that you're putting into your body. I do use honey here and there in my baking because honey is actually really high in antioxidants, which is really good for us. But again, honey contains a lot of sugar, it's high in calories, so you just have to be careful and just use honey in moderation. Now, I did get a comment from Christine who says that whenever she uses the Swerve, that her and her husband, both of them, get bloated. Now, you have to make sure that it's because of the Swerve. It might be other ingredients that you use in the baking. Maybe it has nothing to do with the Swerve. So just play with it a little bit. Really try to make sure that this is what causes the bloating. It's totally possible that it is. You know, like I said, the Swerve is very well tolerated by most people. But you know, one person's food is another person's poison, so it's very possible that both of you might be sensitive to it, and if that's the case, then I would not be using that. I would rather recommend substituting sugar with stevia, because stevia actually might have even some health benefits. I don't use stevia too much because I really don't like the aftertaste, but I do have it in my pantry and I use it here and there. One last question from Stephanie from Texas. It's a long comment. Again, I'm not gonna read the whole comment, but basically the question is, have you ever noticed that any of your programs changed your body shape to an extent that you did not like or that was unsuitable for you? No, none of my exercise programs would change my body to the point that it would be like unflattering or anything like that. If anything changes your body to the point that it's unflattering, it's the way you eat. You know, your diet is going to change your body to the point that it's unflattering if you are not careful with it, or if you're just eating junk food, or if you're eating too much. But no exercise program can make your body look unflattering. It has nothing to do with the workout program. It always has something to do more with the diet, with my lifestyle, stress levels, hormones, lack of sleep, stress, things like that. Everything affects us. So like I said, it's not the workout programs. The workout programs are keeping me in really good shape. I like the way my body looks after doing any of my workouts, and I like to change it up. You know, sometimes I do see more shapely legs when I focus more on lower body workouts. If you notice that your body is changing in a way that is unflattering, that you think it's unflattering, I would suggest that you take a look at your diet. Maybe it doesn't work for you. Maybe you need to change something. Maybe something needs to be changed in your everyday life. And I want to talk about this more maybe in the next coffee talk, because I feel that's really important and nobody talks about it, about how your life affects your body. Really it does. Whether you have problems in your relationships, in your work, or at school, or maybe you're missing creativity in your life, all these things can really affect you on a deep level, and it can affect everything. Your hormones will affect the way your body burns fat. I want to talk about it maybe in the next coffee talk. And if you guys have questions about this kind of topic, then please leave me a comment below. Leave me any questions you want. I love your questions and I will do my best to answer all of you. If I don't answer it in the video, then I will go and answer in the comments. So guys, that's it for today. Thank you for watching. Thank you for leaving comments. Subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you don't miss any new coffee talk or my 5-minute fat burn bonus workout. And I will see you either in the Z gym or here on YouTube next time. Ciao.